good morning and welcome to Königssee in Bavaria. We are at the home of this season's World Championships for the first of our 3 race weekends here in 2017. Good morning, everybody. Martin Haven and John Morgan at the oldest artificial ice track in the business. We're here for the start of the action with the first heat of the women's bobsleigh. And John, after the long sweeping corners of St. Moritz, this couldn't be more of a contrast.
Well, it's like going for a super speedway to a short track in NASCAR. This thing's got some perks to it, I can tell you that, and some quirks, I might say, that short track, you know, nowhere near. They're going to be going almost 18 seconds shorter than they were in St. Moritz. Alana Myers-Taylor and Garrett have the start record here. We were real important, but getting in around this first curve, this is a challenge. You know, this puts you to sleep. You're looking beyond here, but you can snake out of here a little bit and lose a lot of speed. 4 S's here, trust me. The Schlauengrubel, I mean, this is challenge. 4 S's, and you know, it's a rhythm. Feel the rhythm. Exit onto a long straightaway. That's not a straightaway. It bends around. You're going to hit 2 or 3 times. Bang, bang. That's the norm. Little counter curve into this Kreisel, the turbodrome, and trust me, it is a drome, because you exit to the biggest challenge, 100-meter challenge that exists in the sport, in this 3-quarter labyrinth, and then the pressure down here, you get to near the 80-mile-an-hour speeds, and Echo Vond. Now you go uphill for about 12 seconds here, or 6 seconds, and you could throw away a lot of time going uphill. It's short, it's fast, it's quick, it's in a picturesque setting. Some good racing we're going to see here, Martin.
January 2 years ago, Alana Myers-Taylor and Sherelle Garrett set the start record and the track record. Doesn't have the happiest of memories necessarily of this track. She's won here before, but she's also crashed out here before. Air temperature -2, ice just hovering around 0, but it is cold here, John. The huge lake that gives this small town its name, Königssee, the King's Lake, has frozen solid for the first time in a decade. There's Mariama Yamanka, first raced here as a brakewoman, now as a driver. You saw Kaylee Humphries, brakewoman, Melissa Lottholtz with Alana Myers-Taylor. Final examination of the runners being made. There is Kaylee Humphries. She and Alana both won a race here last season because we had 2 World Cup races, one in December, one as the season finale at the end of February. And this big start facility has changed the nature of the top of the track, giving the athletes somewhere actually firm surface rather than a gravel car park to limber up on.
Well, you know, there's a little tension up there. We're in the 6th stop of 8 on the World Cup Tour, and World Cup standings could be decided here today.
Yep, we have 20 sleds in our first of 2 heats from 8 different nations. Christine de Bruyn of Canada will lead them off. No Great Britain sled here this weekend. The lead driver for Great Britain, Misha McNeil, is at the Junior Worlds. There's a couple at the Junior Worlds as well who might otherwise be in the World Cup. No Romanians here this weekend either. They're all at Junior Worlds.
They're all at the Junior Worlds, yeah. Which is tomorrow, Winterberg.
Starts this weekend.
Mika McNeil is up there from Great Britain.
Christine de Bruyn and Catherine Medeiros from Canada get our first heat underway. 4th World Cup race for Christine. She's never been to Königssee before.
So she started off 12th in Whistler, 8th in Lake Placid, a couple weeks off, and then 18th in Winterberg. And here she's sliding the first one down, the rabbit, and you know, this is, look at that bump. Yeah, see that little square coming around that first curve? There's a lot of ways to get in and out of there. It's tricky, like these 4 curves. I mean, the personality of this track is this long straightaway. You're gonna hit here once, twice, that's not bad. 2 times is the norm. You're gonna see 3, 4 times before we're done. And now the exit here. This is one of the most challenging 100-meter sections of any track on the planet. And Martin, half of our highlight reel in our opening montage is from that section of the track.
If you're going to have a crash, no matter how great you are, that is one of the likely points in a season. Down and through across the line in 51.42. So
Well,
we're 1.2 away from the track record at the moment.
I think we got a chance.
It's a frosty morning.
I think we got a chance. The track record could be right on the bubble, though. It's going to be tough to get into that lower than 50-50.
Well, the key is going to be whether they get through the labyrinth, isn't it? You could be way up coming out of the Kreisel, and it all goes away in the labyrinth.
Here, look at this. This is the section of the track. Now watch the back end of the sled. You know, the sleds that come through there, look, she's skidding into the take-on. Yeah. And now watch the transition. Now watch the way the heads, well, they roll through that. You can see the way the heads transition onto the take-on.
That's what the Canadians call the doodles.
Yeah, that's right. The doodles.
Soft name for a tough piece of track. Second of our starters in the field is Kristen Zenkel. She's had one medal on this track. She got a bronze in the World Cup in 2010 as a brakewoman for Sandra Kyriasis, but as her driver, she's raced here in the Europa Cup 4 times in the last couple of seasons. She's got veteran Franziska Bertels behind her.
Last 3 events that she's been in so far, 6th in Winterberg, Altenburg, 8th in Winterberg, 9th last weekend in St. Moritz, and I've been pretty impressed with her driving ability. I think the Germans have something here. 34 start. Looking nice. Didn't X around there, but she came out too early. And a little drift. Speed, 55.7. Keep track of that. That's after that little first curve. Well, it's not the first curve, it's the third curve, because a luge has got the curves.
Curve 1 and 2, yeah.
Yeah, there's 5 hits, there's 6 hits, so.
Yikes. If you carry the pressure wrong out of S4, you are in all sorts of trouble down the straight. Out of the Kreisel.
Ooh, late there. 2/10 up, but she did well in the doodles.
Trickles down the middle there. You've got to go through there like mercury, right in the groove in the bottom.
Well, she doesn't have that big a lead here on the Canadian. She's lost a lot here at the bottom compared to what she's only 13 hundredths ahead. She should be 50, 60 hundredths ahead with the start advantage of 900, so she should have been with her experience in this track. But she's new. First World Cup again. I like what I've seen from this former brakeman.
But she has raced here before, so in Europa Cup, so she's got definitely more track experience than Christine de Bruyne.
Well, it's very easy to know where she made the mistake. Look at, she gets on the left side here, and now she's drifting, and now she's in a skid, and now it's like, what do you do? Well, you just check the ropes. You just hold on and don't try and create any more of a compounding the mistake, is what she did here. 6 hits. Well, she's got the reward for the most hits so far.
More hits than who?
Elvis.
Could be quite a few more before we're down.
There's
sled.
the FIBT sticker on the runners. That's a very important technical aspect.
Maria Oshigiri, the driver, nearly fell base over apex there as she stepped out onto the ice sheet. Tells you just how slippery it is right at the start. 4th World Cup now for Maria. She won here in December in the European Cup, beating Kristen Zenkel and Sabina Hafner, who were 3rd and 4th.
Kimisha, the brakeman. She is a 11.5 meter sprinter. She's got an American father and a Japanese mother. And Hans Wimmer says this girl can run. 11.2 is the best time for Japanese women in Japan right now. So there's some potential here in this Japanese team. We were impressed what we saw in the last couple of weeks.
And the driver, Maria Oshigiri, she's had 4 Europa Cup races here as a bobsledder. She's also raced here as a skeleton slider, which is how she started her career.
Very impressed with what we've seen out of the Japanese. 3 teams in the competition. We never get 3 men's teams. And I guess there are men's teams in the Europa and the North America's Cup. So look at this line. 1, 2. That's the norm. Okay, speed. Better speed than the German sled that just came down by 0.2 of a kilometer.
Only 600ths of a second behind.
Now she's got the lead.
Here
See,
we go.
Hey, listen, that's what she did in that straightaway. That's what gave her this time. She only hit twice. Zenkel hit 6 times. Look at this. Look at her pull away. I'll tell you, it's great to see the Japanese. I mean, winning our Europa Cup race, you can see she's got some talent. There's Hans Wimmer.
Yep.
Hans knows the equipment. First time, as I mentioned, that the Japanese have ever had foreign coaching in the sport. And boys, it's showing quickly. 51.04. That's a good time.
In fact, Maria's brakewoman from when she first raced here in Europa Cup 2 seasons ago, will be driving the 3rd Japanese sled. That one, a Swiss sled, as you can see, a Citius. That's rented from Billy Meyerhans. So it may not all be in Wimmer sleds, but Hans is certainly bringing plenty of experience to the team, and they lack nothing in dedication either.
And they have so much fun. They're laughing all the time. Every time you see them, they're giggling with each other.
Well, here is our 2nd Japanese sled, Minami Homa. She too has raced here before in the European Cup. 4 races here. Last season in Europa Cup, they had 3 races. And won the season before.
She's been like the 2nd sled for the Japanese. 13, 19, and 19 so far. And probably give up a little time at the start to her teammate, who came down to 38, so 45, be good. 53, way out, 113, or 154.6 is her teammate, 54.3, which that's way off the top speed that the German sled had. Let's see how she gets out of the straightaway. That's pretty good there. That's a little skid. Oh, now she 2 slight hits with a skid. Not bad. Speed 112. That's considerably off the mark. Let's see what she does in this labyrinth.
Good exit from the Kreisel, and that's neat and tidy as well. She doesn't wipe off speed on the wall.
Way off the pace though. Oh, a little waver there into the finish in the Echo Bond.
Yeah.
Way off the pace. 117.8 speed into the finish. So she's 4th. But Hans looks on, you know, hey, you know, they might not have the equipment. She definitely doesn't have the start. She's 1,500s back of her teammate to start. That's worth 4,500s, but she's still 4,500s plus more behind at the bottom. So she's off the pace. But watch this now. She's trying to get around. And that getting around there causes a little bit of a skid, but, you know, not too bad. Didn't panic. Remember, only really 2 hits and a skid, so we'll say 3 hits. But here in Knucklevan, she's up there in the frost, higher than you want to be. And that's not the fast line. Great setting down here. Oop.
This is Sabine Hafner of Switzerland. Up to 2012, she not only drove bobsled, she also competed in women's skeleton. Won here in December in the European Cup, but the last World Cup race here in bobsleigh was back in January 2010.
Yeah, she was very disappointed with the result on her home track in St. Moritz. She knows she's a better driver. 95.1 is pretty good speed there, considering her start efficiency of 1,500s, which is unbelievable. 112.9 is decent speed, so she could eat into this with a good exit down here. No. Nice lines, though, for Sabina. She's getting beat by the Japanese. The Japanese are driving an exact same sled she's got. She's looking like she's going to be 3rd here.
Yep.
Yeah, 3,800's back. Wolfgang Stamper looks on it. You know, it's tough to take. I think there's a tie there between De Bruyn. Wow.
Yeah, De Bruyn and Hafner.
Christina De Bruyn, I think, from Canada, might be one of her better drives of the season.
Already with 5 sleds in, and we have a tie between 2 of them. I was just thinking, actually, when they get to the line here after 51 seconds, they're still in the middle of the forest in St. Moritz with another 25 seconds to go.
The exit there of she gets over on the wrong side, the left. Look at her now. She's, you know, and then she had to steer through this middle part of the doodles, or the 3-quarter combination of the labyrinth. And it's not straight down there. It's a challenge. Boy, you can get so close to the action. That's what's beautiful about that. You can get right next to the sleds as they come by at 80 miles an hour.
Maria Oshigiri is our leader from Japan. First heat of the women's bobsleigh here in Königssee. Double Olympic champion Kaylee Humphries ready to go for Canada. And just a shout out to a good friend of everybody here, bobsleigh skeleton, young and old, Charlie Booker. We're thinking of you, my friend. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast here. I know you would love to be freezing your toes off here trackside. Kaylee Humphries won one of last year's 2 races
Start.
So one back in 2013.
Starts 5:13. They should get in the 20s at least, if not better. 5:22, but they're still well off the record of the 13 set by Alana Myers, who's coming up next.
I think it might be a quicker start area in the second heat.
Sun gets up there.
Yeah, as though some of the chill comes out of the frosty start track. 2900s up over Oshigiri.
Once, twice, 3 hits.
And that is the standard line, isn't it? You can't avoid a hit.
Let's see what the two-time Olympic driver can do on the track. She's won on it a couple times.
There you go. Beautiful.
You can tell by the back end of that sled how it negotiates that last exit of labyrinth. Speed, well, better than anybody. We expect that.
Cynthia Appia on the back handles instead of Melissa Lottholtz, 50.57.
Okay, so that's what I said, but you have struggled.
3/10 away from the track record.
I said we struggle to get below 50. We're going to find out next sled. Well, there's 2 more sleds, I think, can challenge that.
Cynthia Appia on the back. Melissa Lottholtz having a day off.
Start. Wow, when you have that much an advantage at the start, 1600s at the start. She won by 40, by 47.
Yep.
That's all start, 16, 32, 48. So equal drive with the Japanese down the track. And this is Ekovan. Watch the exit, going uphill. No mistakes here. No mistakes there. You have to be perfect on that exit for the last 100 meters. And look at her meticulously. Look at her runners.
Runners. Worried about a little nick in them, yeah. Alana Myers-Taylor follows our World Cup points leader, Kaylee Humphries, on the track. Alana, of course, didn't complete the first race of the season in Whistler, and that's why she's down in 4th spot.
Little pocket rocket on the back today.
She's never had anybody not called Jones on the back of the sled this season. Kerry Jones, Lolo Jones, and last week Brianna Jones have all slid with Alana Myers-Taylor. There's a bit of a...
All 3 have a lot in common. Track athletes, world-class track athletes. Okay, this is a great little track for her to run. She's the smallest female in the competition. Needless to say, she gets in there buried pretty quickly. 5:20 start. Let's see the speed around the first curve. Look at that, the best speed, 55.7. So let's see if Alana, this track has challenged Alana in the past.
She's won here, she's crashed here.
And she crashed here with a big lead.
Yep.
Let's see if you can get through her K to 2, 3, 4, 5 hits, and that'll be reflective. Ooh, a lot of pressure there on the take-on, too. 113.4 is a pretty impressive speed there.
Still with a slender lead over Kaylee Humphries, now out to 1400.
Ooh, that wasn't smooth. That hard square bump on the last labyrinth.
How much speed was she carrying? Has she still got an advantage to the line?
Good exit there. Yeah, she had a great exit on that. Ekovan uphill, and she's 2100ths ahead. US coaches like that, but there's one more. She's been in the lead like this before and crashed in the second heat.
Oh, yeah.
And but this track, a couple crashes this week in training. Myers, Taylor, and Jones with the best start, the best finish time. But, Alana's starting to chase down Kaylee with driving. That was her rap. She didn't have the experience driving the sled. And now there's a little skid here coming out of those 4 S's. And here, watch the square bump. Watch her. She's squarely, and look at the back end of the
she got tapped away on the right and hit a little harder on the left.
Wasn't perfect, but she's the leader.
Not enough to dislocate any hips. A third of our Canadian sleds next up. This is Alicia Risling, and here is Melissa Lottholtz on the back of Riz's sled. And the Canadians with the men and with the women now, moving the brake women around with the drivers, trying to find the combination that really gels. These two have raced before together. 5th World Cup for Riz. She had 1 Europa Cup previously. She was here in January 2016, finished in 5th position.
So the Canadian, this Riesling and the other Canadian, there's 3 Canadians. Or
3. Christine de Bruyn is the 3rd sled.
They were sentenced to go to Altenburg last week for training instead of St. Moritz. I don't know who made that decision, but it's like going to the Mojave Desert, not going to St. Moritz. I said, Alicia, nice to see you. She says, it's nice to be seen.
Yeah.
And she didn't want to talk about it, but Altenburg's not like going to St. Moritz. she didn't know fourth place in Whistler in the opening event. Well, of course, she's familiar with the track. She's showing some driving prowess here the last couple times we've seen her. She got high there, though. Speeds, 119, pretty good.
A third place run at the moment. Alana Myers-Taylor, Kaylee Humphries are first and second. Alicia Risling's going to put herself into third position, tied with Maria Oshigiri.
That's talent.
So thumbs up from Graham Richardson, the coach.
You know, fourth place in Whistler, yeah, there wasn't a lot of sleds there, but there was Germans, Americans, and Canadians there. And fourth place in Whistler, you got to be talented to do that.
Well, fourth and fifth in the two North American tracks, the one she knows best. Then she came to Altenburg, 11th, Winterberg rather, 11th place there.
I think the Canadians got a second driver here. Yeah. Christina de Bruin did good too in the first heat. So she got too high here. Look, she's above the mark. She's above the ice there. And that's, anytime you see those lines, this is in the S's, the second S, third S, and then the fourth. Wow, what pictures.
Nice work. 8 sleds down, and we've got 2 dead heats already.
Another tie?
Yeah, we got 2 ties already.
Beautiful, beautiful.
So let's see what Jamie Grubel-Poser can do. Second in the World Cup points. She's had a win, 2 bronze medals, and a 5th position this season in the 4 World Cup races. And bronze medalist last year. And that was in the second of the races. I'm getting my races confused.
Track and field athlete in the back from the University of Illinois, Asia Evans, who these two won a bronze medal in Sochi together. 2 very powerful female athletes right here. 5:22 ties the second best start. Ooh, big, hard turn, but she has the best velocity. That means Aja Evans had a great power step into the sled and created a little extra velocity. And if she can do that. Ooh, there's 1 hit, 2 hits, 3 hits, 4 hits, 5 hits. 3 you can get away with. 5, oh, speed.
Well, still only 400ths of a second out of the lead.
Only 900ths.
900s, oh, and a little bumpy through the doodles.
Watch
Down
out.
through the lower labyrinth. Echo Van.
She's hanging in there. She's fast. Exit off the finish curve looked a little late.
Second place. Is this a US 1-2?
6th best speed. Wow. Coaches
US
like it.
1-2.
And Jamie's also had issues on this track a couple years ago. 2014-15 season. But good run. But Jamie Grubel-Poser, her husband, Christian Poser from Berlin, German athlete who's recovering from injury. He's not going to make the trip. He's going to stay up in Berlin, watch on TV. And the start, well, let's watch the brakeman's entry into the sled, the power step. She's probably one of the biggest female brake. Look how quickly she got in and got down. So that's why they had the best start velocity. They were very cohesive getting in there. And just think of where she would be without the 5 hits in that straightaway. It's not a straightaway, in that bend away.
Bend away. There you go. First of our 3 Belgian sleds up next. Elfje Willemsen has had 2 silver medals, beg your pardon, in the last 2 seasons out of 3 starts here. So she is really finding her form at this track.
Well, she just struggles at the start, but you know, she'll find ways for speed at the bottom.
Didn't race in North America, came here and did Europe Cup as well, so she's got experience this year as well as in her World Cup career.
8th best start, probably 8th best speed too. She gets around the 7th best speed, so she drift, that's how she does, and she stops. She's going to be 50 hundredths at the exit of the S's at least. Now she's going to need a perfect line to overcome the start deficiency. That's pretty good, 42. That speed is excellent. Look at this, once, twice. She's got through there with 2 hits. Let's see if she's rewarded. 111.9, not too bad.
7th place on the split times as she comes out of the Kreisel up to 5th, and this is a good line.
There it is, the back end of the sled. Nice transition on the exit of the doodles. Now let's see if she can be straight in the here, the exit uphill. Not bad.
4th place, closing on a 3rd place finish, maybe ahead of Kaylee Humphries.
This is what she does. This is what she does. No, she's far off of Kaylee, 33 hundredths. But, you know, with that speed, she's 24 hundredths down at the start and only 54 at the bottom. this is what she does. I mean, the Belgian Bullets, she's the one of the best at finding speed in the track if she only had a start time.
Head of the Belgian Federation outside our commentary position in the bleachers.
Stefan?
Yeah, waiting for the sun to come round.
Look at the exit here. Watch this. This is the perfect transition. Now watch the way she goes into the next curve. Exit, take on. That's why she had great speed on the bottom part of the track, and that deficiency at the start, she overcame it on the bottom. She's in 4th.
First 10 sleds down. Half our women's field have completed the first heat. USA 1-2, Canada 3-5-8 at the moment. 11th of the 20 starters in the first heat of the Women's World Cup here is Mariama Yamanka with local girl Annika Dradzek. Dradzek, former world champion winning brakewoman, has reignited Mariama Yamanka's season.
Now this, I think, is the best technique of anybody coming off the blocks. Watch her speed. They should be in the 20s, low 20s, if not better. 23. To watch the speed now around. There's the best velocity, 56. That's what this brakeman brings to the table. It is unbelievable what Dradzek has done to this Mariama Yamanka's ability to compete.
Straightens up the little skid as she comes
Nice.
out of S4.
2, 3, 3.5, 4 with that skid. This is 3rd at the moment.
Nice
Big
height.
speed, though.
Here we go.
Huge speed. Down to 10. She's coming. A little airborne there. High. Too much pressure on the next curve. Top speed.
Yep. Closing in on the leaders. Ooh,
big
maybe slipping away
a little bit.
third.
Second, maybe. She made some mistakes in that uphill section. 4th. She lost a lot of time. She's the least experienced driver in the top 5, and she showed it there. She was in 2nd place into the Ecovand, came off late in the Ecovand, and then she went from 2nd to 4th, but she's only 400ths out of 3rd.
Yep.
Start, 4th best start, 1st best velocity. That brakeman, boy, she is impressive.
Mariama Yamanka also won here as a brakewoman as recently as 2013.
Well, the driving skills here this is in the labyrinth. This is square. She gets, look at the skid there, so she's out a little early. Watch the back end of the sled come up. Not too bad. And
Just got nudged
her problem was on the exit of Ecobahn.
Yeah.
She lost that time with that skid on the exit of that uphill straightaway. Doing pretty good, though.
Christina Hengster of Austria has done a number of races here in European Cup. She's had wins and podiums. 4th in the World Cup in the last 2 seasons. Sanadeka behind her. Manfred Meyer, the coach at the back on the left-hand side, said, "Talk about my wife. You're always talking about the boys."
Well, he's got kids racing in Bob, Skeleton, and they're good. Start, there's another deficient start time. Let's see if Sonia Decker, the speed is 7th best start, 7th best velocity. But Christina, who's medaled already twice this year, sits 3rd in World Cup points, very capable. Let's see how good she is on the exit of the S. Nice, quiet. How's it down here? 2 hits, perfect. Let's see if she can manufacture some speed. 112.5 is pretty good speed.
Still in 7th place as she was at the start, behind Riesling and Oshigiri. Now she's up to 5th, ahead of Althea Willemsen of Belgium.
Speed on the bottom, we'll give her a chance, 120. Let's see any speeds
Nice exit.
working. And it says
74.5 miles
74.6,
an
pretty
hour,
good.
so she's
6th.
a little away. Is that another dead heat? No.
No, 400's behind.
Just behind Althea Willemsen.
Yeah. I don't think that was her best drive. Somehow she lost some time at the bottom. 70, she didn't have very good speed on the bottom.
Is that because I was thinking of mentioning this is probably her best World Cup season to date?
Yeah.
Even thinking these things is the curse of the commentator.
Surprised at the start time. Now watch these angles here. That's pretty good there. This isn't the doodles. A 3rd exit. Oh, you saw the bottom left runner airborne, because that means she got over there late onto the takeout. And friction at that speed causes loss of time. She lost time on the bottom someplace.
No place to make it up here. Such a short track. Russia's Alexandra Rodionova, former luger. Best result for her, 6th in the Winter Games in 2010 in Whistler. Only had 1 World Cup race here as a bobsledder. She was 12th last season.
6th in World Cup points, right behind her teammate, which there's a race within a race to who's going to emerge as the Russia 1 sled into the World Championships.
And Rodionova getting used to starting from here. She's normally up in the tower at the women's start for the luge.
For luge, which is on the right side of our screen.
Well, that's the men's start. And for the women's start there as well.
No, the women don't.
They're a little lower start too. So she'll come in, would be used to coming in further down.
7th, 8th best start, 7th best velocity. And the S's, the exit of the S's. It's quiet. Probably been down the track 300 times as a luger. Ooh, there's 4 hits.
Well, I tell you, in luge, the labyrinth below the Chrysler here is just as daunting and just as dangerous as it is in skeleton and bobsleigh.
Oh yeah, not bad, not bad. A lot of ice in the labyrinth. Now the speed isn't bad. Speed doesn't give us. There's the 4th best speed in the bottom. This isn't too bad at all. She's 9th though. Yeah. So even with that good speed in the bottom, she stays in 9th. Surprised at that. Alexander Zubkov looks on. Well, if they show us the labyrinth, I think she took a lot of the labyrinths, a lot of more ice than she needed to. Visually, I think of that, but.
Saw Barbara Niedenhuber, former Bavarian luge queen, multiple medal winner for Germany, watching. You'll see her if we see that replay.
This is the S's. Look at the speed in the S's. Look at that. Myers-Taylor had almost a full kilometer, which is half a mile an hour, 4/10 of a mile an hour. And that's a lot. Yeah. That's a lot.
Alexandra Rodionova and her very tall break woman, Anastasia Kochertseva. Next up is Brittany Reinbold of the USA. She's won here in European Cup back in 2011 as a break woman with Alana Myers-Taylor. She has never driven here herself before this week. There's Lauren Gibbs on the back handles.
Brittany is, if there's anybody with the biggest smile on tour, it's her. She's a pilot. Well, she needs to be a good pilot coming down this very challenging Königssee track. Start time 5th best, not bad. Speed 7th. So they lost a little bit from their transition at the start to their start velocity. Listen to the sound and the skid.
Doesn't panic, gets it tidied up. So she's going to take 1 tap, 2 taps.
Pretty good. See if she can get 112.3, pretty good speed.
Yeah, very good speed, 69.8. Top speed is 70.6 miles an hour down through Kelstein.
Rough there. Echo. She was rough there. Really squared up the sled with that 3rd labyrinth. Ooh, rough transition there, and she taps on the exit, coming uphill, and she taps again. So there's double taps coming in.
10th place. In her first ever race as a driver on this track.
It's pretty good though.
Yep.
She's done, she's improved. Lacks at the start. Look at, every time down, she's very, very happy, especially on this track. A lot of trepidation for her earlier in the week with her first trips. If they take that helmet off, all you're going to see is a bunch of teeth. She's a big smile. Lauren too.
Yeah.
Here, watch the back end of the sled here. Now watch the way, I call it squares up. Bang. Bang, and then a little bit of airborne. That's a lot of friction. Now she's skidding into the take-on and not crossing over. The exit of the curve is the outlet, and the take-on is where you get on the curve. And that's as tricky as it gets at any place in the sport.
And when you leave the Chrysler, you're committed. That's your line. Nadezhda Sergeva with Yulia Shokshweva. Nadezhda raced here on the brakes as well as a Europa Cup brake woman. She finished in 3rd position, but as a driver herself, 10th last year, 12th the year before, her 2 World Cup appearances here in Königssee.
Well, 4th and 6th, the last 2 times out. She's improving. She wants to get that Russia #1 title.
Well, she is at the moment ahead of her teammates by 32 points, which is about a 19th place finish.
5th start, 7th speed, so they didn't transfer that energy to to the best, you want to be at least the same as your start time, and the good teams will improve their velocity. Boy, she hung it on the 4th S. See if it costs her. Yes.
Yeah, little squirrely down the
Really
bend away.
big squirrely. Big squirrely has to take that little take on before you get on the Chrysler with more, and she's way off. She's over 1.5 kilometers down, and that's relative to that bend away.
Still looking at maybe a top 5 run here. Her teammate Alexandra Rodionova is ninth.
Way up high there in Ekovon. See if it taps.
7th place, slipping back towards her teammate.
11th best speed, so she lost a lot. Ducks her head.
7th.
You know, considering all the mistakes she just made, that's not bad.
Yeah.
You know, she hit 3 or 4 times in the bend away, got way up high in the Ekovon, had no speed in Chrysler, but she was 5th coming in and out of that Chrysler.
Yep.
So
she's definitely got the potential to tidy that up and improve on her performance.
Her start time has gotten better every week too.
Yeah.
But here, watch how high she gets here. Look at way up near that's Frosty up there.
Way up.
Now she comes off. Watch what happens going uphill. She came off too late, and that tap. The first person going to tell her what happened there is Zubkov, who the coach. He won the World Championships here in two-man bobs in 2011, so he might know the best lines. If you beat the Germans on a German track, you have to know the good lines.
Alana Myers-Taylor, Jamie Grubel-Poser, and Kaylee Humphreys. It's a North American 1, 2, 3. 15 sleds down to 5 to come. We've had one of our 3 Belgian sleds. Here is sled number 2, Anne van Nieuwenhuizen, another former brakewoman turned driver. This is her 4th World Cup race here as a driver. Sophie Verkrijsen behind her.
Shortest basketball player I've ever seen. I'm sure she had a good 3-point shot.
Teammate Alfie Willemsen lies 5th off a 5:44 start.
This will be 49 or so. 38, wow, all right.
And they were in really neatly as well.
So they're 10th best start, 8th best velocity. There you go. So these two have started to team it up pretty good. And 4th place in Whistler, you know, so if you're 4th place in Whistler, she tied Riesling there, and if you're 4th in Whistler, you're talented. Look at the speed, 113.1. That's one of the best speeds we've seen since Myers-Taylor. And this is good lines. This is 6th.
Yeah, nice run through the labyrinth. Could be a top 5 run, challenging teammate Alfie Willemsen, who's 54 hundredths off the lead. She's going to be just behind Christina Hengster.
5th best speed in the bottom. Look at her duck her head, 8th. You know, considering the start, that's pretty good. But she did not get near her teammate. 600 is better than her teammate. And, no, wait a minute, 65 to 54, 11 hundredths.
Yeah.
She's only 200s from Sarageva, 700s from Hengster. It's a pretty good run. I was impressed with her start, though.
Yeah. Her sled, Spanky, is said it was raced previously by Alfie Willemsen.
Look at the runner tips. That's quiet. How's this? 1 hit, 2, 3,
Yeah, big 3rd
4.
hit.
Yeah, 3rd hit. She crossed over there, but still pretty good. They're happy with that.
Liking that one. And our next sled is also from Belgium, so where does Nugel Len de Decker fit in? This is only her 3rd World Cup race of the season.
She's
Her sled Rex.
She's one of the casualties of training. She crashed in training on the final day. And also Sarageva, we didn't mention that. She crashed on the 2nd day of training. Well, look at that.
Hair game is strong with these girls. And again, lots of smiles.
Yeah, they're just so well organized and professionally presented here at the Belgian Bullets. What a story that about 10 years ago now, somebody came up with the idea to create a reality TV show to see if somebody could make the Winter Olympic team from Belgium. They targeted bobsledding, and we're all shocked. What? And all these TV cameras showed up, followed these girls around, and they made it to the Olympics.
And they're back now, aren't they, in the next cycle doing a 10-year update.
Yeah. And they're well organized and sponsored by the EBK Bank, and it's the Red. And, you know more about the Belgian Reds.
Well, the Red Devils, that's the colour their national soccer team plays in, yeah.
So, Stefan Freeling, their president's here. They do such a great job. It's a, wow, it's a small nation success story.
Yeah, it really is.
Ooh, watch out here, watch out.
Little rattly, and she's gone.
Yeah, you can see the exit. Same thing she did in the training, but you can tell she got off too late it's so easy to see it when you come off that Chrysler. If you're on the right side of our screen, you tap that sidewall, that's what's going to happen to you. You're not going to be able to get through there. Now, let's see if she gets through the timing eye, which is important. She's not going to get through the timing eye. Look, keep coming. No, not going to get there.
No.
And the sled's going to go backwards. That's the thing now.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Oh, no, they're holding it.
Just missed the timing eye.
Yeah, by about a foot. Right under the board there, you can see the hole in the ice on the right-hand side. That's where the timing eye is.
So no points. That's the disaster there.
That's a real shame. You see one of their teammates running down to help. The girls are up and out.
Yeah, they want to go again, but you didn't finish. No. Now the guys in the track help it. I wonder if they get out of this sled, they push it across the finish line, they could qualify. I don't know that rule, but watch this. Very simple. Comes back up too high, comes out low, and the exit of Chrysler. Watch the right side of our screen. She taps over there, and then from the different angle. And now here, watch the hard tap, and then she can't cross over. You know, she's just too late into that section, and I think it's safe to say so. I think we got this curve properly covered. What do you think?
That wall just knocks the sled over, doesn't it? Just knocks you over. Yeah. And you know, the way we look at it, it looks like three moderate corners, but yeah, that's a great shot.
This is where she gets hurt right there. So that's the last part, the third part of the labyrinth. And
Exodus A curve onto the Ecovant, and that wall it's just solid, and it's almost, there's no way of adjusting your line through there. Your line is what it is when you leave the Kreisel.
There's some bullets.
Yeah,
signage.
Fan club. So unfortunately for Leon de Decker and Nel Paulsen, no finish time, and that means they will not be able, I'm afraid, to go in the second heat. Track workers are down there. That's Stefan, I think, the head of the Belgian Federation, who's down there as well. Just making sure that his athletes are okay. Yeah.
Medical staff with the girls. You immediately have to report to medical staff, especially in this day and age of concussion protocol. And, you know, it looks like they're both up and okay. And that's the secret, you know, especially in the women's bobsledders. They can get in those sleds and hide a little easier than some of them big monsters in the men's bobsled program. But, you know, get in that sled, let that sled act like a cocoon. Watch the right side of your screen here. Watch her hit the right wall. That's where it was over. That's what I said. Watch out here, because once you do that, you're late. You're late. And then finally the curve just says, nope, you can't come through here like that late. You're going to get penalized.
There's nowhere to go, is there? 75 miles an hour, hitting the wall like that, and then hitting the ice wall like that afterwards, that's a big impact.
You and I have seen a lot of sleds. We know when we see the trouble coming here.
And we've seen the very, very best crash down there. It's not just because they're not quite up to speed. Even the very best crash there. It's a place, coming off the Kreisel, you know it's so vital for speed, you have to commit. They were committed, and the line was just, you know, a couple of inches wrong, and that's all it takes.
Well, it's not a walk of shame. It's a walk of, hey, we're okay, and they're going to go up and a little delay in the track till they fix some grooves. There's the beautiful picturesque signature on the track.
Place is stunning this year. So much snow they've had here in Bavaria. As we said, the ice, the Königssee that gives, down at the bottom of the picture there, the huts in the background at the foot of the mountain, those are all boat houses. Normally there'd be pleasure boats going in and out of there. Yeah. You can walk 6 kilometers up the lake before your feet get wet.
First time in 10 years the lake's been frozen. You were out on it.
Yeah. And that's quite spooky. It's so clear you can look down past your feet and see the floor of the lake. Alana Mars-Taylor, Jamie Grubel-Poser, Kaylee Humphreys, top 3 here. Well, 3 sleds to go in our first of 2 heats in the Women's Bobsleigh World Cup in Königssee, Bavaria. This is a third of our Japanese sleds. This is Konomi Asazu. Last time she was on this track, she was a brakewoman for currently the top Japanese driver, Maria Oshigiri.
She's tall, too.
So 2 years ago, she was braking. A year ago, she was driving here. This is only her third World Cup, her second World Cup race. Made her debut in St. Moritz.
17th last week in St. Moritz. They came in to the headshot procedure. Smile, energy, laughing, and been watching them for the last 10 days, the 3 Japanese girls and the way they interact with their coaches and the interpreter. And boy, it's such positive energy. It's great. And it's, you know, again, this is not track and field where you're just going to go put your shoes on and learn how to run. This is a different sport.
Nice exit. Oh, big skid though.
Jinx.
Sorry about
Watch
that.
out here. She did not get into Kreisel the way she wanted. Let's see if she can get out. Watch the back
That's
end.
good.
Yeah.
Carries the speed nicely.
Yeah. 17th. This is bad considering she got up too high in Echo Bond up there in the frost. It didn't cost her too badly in the uphill section. And 16th best speed, 17th best.
Nice, safe drive down. You don't learn anything by failing to finish. Hans Wimmer likes that. This is, they are at the foothills, aren't they? The Japanese ladies at the moment. Learning.
3 Japanese sleds at the field is unbelievable. You know, we used to always see 1 and maybe 1 Japanese team men's. Now we're seeing 3 Japanese. Watch the exit here of the S's. Now, she didn't have this figured out yet, but not a lot of people do. There's 4 hits.
Listen, the Japanese have got 3 women's sleds here. Even Germany only has 2.
No, they got 3. With the next sled coming up with Schneider.
We got Yamanka and Schneider. Oh yeah, and Senkel, yes. So 3. So Germany, USA, Canada, Belgium, and Japan, all with 3 sleds.
And this one here.
This is the second of our Austrians, Katrin Beil, with Valerie Kleiser behind her. Katrin making her 2nd World Cup start of the season.
She's got that broken foot. She's going to run today.
Yeah.
She's going to run. Look at her. She's jogging. She's got a broken bone in her foot from before Christmas in training and sat in the sled last week. She said she's going to try it this week. You know, and 15th best start, you know, and let's see if the velocity 16, you expect that. She was jogging and, you know, another girl with a lot of smile on her face. Loves what she's doing. Ooh. You know, she came out of there late.
Long and drifty.
Yeah, they came out of there very late. That caused the back end to skid, and when you do that, it shaves away a lot of time. Exit. Keep away on the left side. Yeah, nice. Nice, okay. So she's gonna get down, and watching the Echo Bond, she gets up too high. We're seeing it, not too bad. Straight away, little tap there, the exit. Another tap. Uphill sections of the tracks are just killers to your time. If you skid it off, that's, you know, she beat a couple of the Japanese sleds, considering, you know, she had a 48 start, which, you know, she's about 60%.
Yeah, 15th out of the 19 sleds so far. She's definitely got more pace once she can stand on that foot properly, never mind run.
Look at this.
Yeah.
You think you got into the first curve there? A little rough.
Really skiddy.
Yeah, really skiddy. That was
and
definitely
again,
cost her.
Saw her skid in S4
And
even before she got off it.
Yeah, she steered out of there too early. I said late, too early. That caused that tap and then that skid all the way down.
But broken foot, grits her teeth, gets on with it, gets down. Final sled, Stephanie Schneider. Again, a story of broken bones. Crashed in Whistler, broke her collarbone, came back for Winterberg, crashed again, broke it.
I don't know if it's broken.
Well, do you know
it's
what?
Cracked.
The way she hit the deck, it won't have been healed. Whatever, it would have been extraordinarily painful. Lisa Marie Buchwitz behind her. So Schneider yet to finish a World Cup race this season.
This is a former brakeman who's, you know, a hammer thrower, track and field athlete, but the field events, hammer, shot putter, good athlete, decent start. You know, we saw her last year. We said, wow, there's another German brakeman that accelerated to the front seat.
Yeah.
And, you know, it started off with Whistler with those 2 crashes, missed that event. Of course, they didn't come to Lake Placid. And then in Altenburg, they didn't bring her back in Altenburg. And then in Winterberg, she crashed in training and ended up missing that event, too.
Lisa Marie Buchwitz, her brakewoman, won here 2 seasons ago, pushing Kathleen Martini in Martini's swan song year.
Watch out, that's pretty good.
Oh, yeah. She needs to get these 2 runs safely under her belt. She needs to finish. She needs to get the confidence and the belief back.
Points for the rule. Look at her get out of there. She got out of there too early. That cost her.
Listen, get down ugly, but get down.
She's down. Not a very good time. Second off the pace with the 5th best start. Randy Spies, I don't think he'll be happy with the finish time, but he'll be happy with the finish.
Well, you can imagine the nerves, can't you? You know, she buries her head. She knows it was untidy.
I bet you
she even got a taped finger and everything, you know.
Watch this. Skid out of the S's. And once you skid out of those S's and hit like that, you might as well throw a parachute out into the Kreisel. A couple pressure points. You can see the sled wavering a little bit. And the exit, you know, that's one thing. And then here she tries to get out too early and bang. You don't see it on TV. That's an uphill section of the track, and you're dealing with gravity, and you hit like that going uphill.
This is such a confident sport, and you can imagine the nerves jangling away there. She was so tight to get that run down clean. Hopefully that'll release some speed for the second heat. Top 3 all from North America. 1300s from second to first. Alana Myers-Taylor and Kerry Jones have a handy advantage. They've won on this track before. Alana has crashed on this track before as well. Which will it be in the second and deciding heat? Only one way to find out. That's to join John Morgan, me, Martin Haven, and the rest of the IBSF TV crew for our second and deciding heat. Well, that's the way that they line up. 2100s, the top 3. Mariama Yamanka definitely not out of the medals yet. And further back, we've got a whole host of tightly matched sleds. 54 to 6500s back, a pair tied for 9th. We've got a tie for 14th position with Christina Brunn and Sabina Hafner. And one unfortunate crash for Leander Decker and Nel Paulison. The Belgian third sled will not get a second heat. So we will go off 19 down to 1 in the second heat.
Top 4 sleds are the top 4 sleds with the starts.
And the top 4 in the World Cup standings as well.
No,
so no, they're not.
Jamaica's not there because she missed the race.
Absolutely right.
She was in 7th. She could move up into 4th.
Yeah. So join us when we get ready for the second heat, and that will be at 11:30 Central European Time, 10:30 Greenwich Mean Time. Meanwhile, from the beautiful Berchtesgadener Land, in the deepest corner of Bavaria, sandwiched in between Switzerland and Austria, we'll leave you and be back at 11:30 for our second heat of the Women's Bobsleigh World Cup number 6.